Hello, I'm Annabel Brodie-Smith, Communications Director of the Association of Investment Companies. This year, VCTs are celebrating their 30th birthday. Over the past 3 decades, VCTs have played a crucial role in supporting small, growing businesses, fostering innovation, and driving economic growth across the UK. From their inception, they've offered investors a unique blend of tax advantages and access to the potentially high-growth world of venture capital. So, what role will VCTs play in fostering the next generation of groundbreaking UK businesses, and what are their benefits for investors? I'm delighted to be joined by three managers from the VCT sector. James Hendry, the Investment Director at Gresham Ventures, which manages the Baronsmead VCTs. Peter Dines, Managing Director of Mercia Ventures, which manages the Northern VCTs. And Robert Whitby-Smith, Partner of Albion Capital, which manages the Albion VCTs. Now, as I said, VCTs are celebrating their 30th birthday. Why have they been so successful? And I'm just going to start with Robert.
So they most definitely have been successful. I think the VCT sector now has £6.5 billion under management and employs somewhere 106,000 people. And the returns for investors have been excellent over the very long term, over the 30 years. As to why, clearly many factors are important. I would say the first is the founders and the entrepreneurs within Britain who are building these companies, without whom there wouldn't be much to invest in. There's the foundation of the UK innovation through our amazing universities and the IP that's generated from that. There's the support from government and from successive governments in terms of the tax support given to retail investors to encourage them to invest into early stage UK innovation. And there's the ecosystem itself with amazing partners like yourself, Annabelle, at the AIC. And of course, they're the retail investors who've chosen to back UK innovation. And last but not least, the fund managers who've now built up 30 years of experience within the VCT space, investing in the best companies coming out of the UK.
Thank you so much, Robert. That was a very comprehensive answer, but I'm sure James can add to it, and perhaps you can add your personal views, James, on why VCTs have been successful.
Yeah, sure. So a couple of things here. So one, for investors, they've been a great source of strong returns over the years, and this continues to make them attractive, and it's a great way for individual investors to access high growth innovation businesses. For companies and management, look, the VCTs provide, I suppose, a couple of things. So one is with the fund structures, able to kind of invest over a long period of time and be able to invest into business over multiple rounds and able to kind of really see businesses kind of can develop through their kind of scaling journey. But it's not only capital. A lot of the managers are able to provide support beyond capital, so able to provide kind of specialist scaling expertise, whether it's on HR and talent or in other areas. And also over the 30 years, a number of managers have seen kind of what's gone well and what's not gone so well in this scaling journey, and able to impart that knowledge onto management teams.
Thank you. And Peter, why do you think VCTs are celebrating their 30th birthday? What have they been delivering for investors?
I think for investors, they've been delivering consistent tax-free dividends, which is the key part for retail investors. And for investees, they've been providing much needed capital to develop and grow their businesses, and really are a critical part to the UK venture capital ecosystem.
Right. Now, what types of companies are you actually investing in? And I'd like to kick off with Peter.
Yeah, so we tend to focus on four broad sectors. So the first one are B2B software and AI businesses. The second is consumer-facing businesses. The third is deep tech or IP-rich businesses. And the fourth then is health tech and life sciences businesses. So those are the broad sectors. In terms of stages, they're early stage businesses with and we're backing ambitious founders who are looking to grow and scale their businesses on the global stage.
Right. Now, how about you, James? What sort of businesses are you invested in?
So the Baronsmead investment funds are investing across both public and private opportunities, and that enables us to invest into the best opportunities that we see across those spaces. I suppose the kind of commonality between both public and private markets are we're looking to invest into businesses which are playing on long-term structural growth trends, and that's typically leading us to invest into consumer, healthcare, and business-to-business software and services. Again, kind of common across both is that we're investing into businesses with strong management teams and which have multiple growth opportunities. We're typically investing into software, data, marketplaces, high-skilled people-based businesses, and we like these businesses because they're highly scalable, so able to kind of withstand kind of years of kind of high growth, and because they're able to kind of sustain these kind of high levels of growth, they are able to reach scale quickly, deliver strategic value, and ultimately deliver strong returns for our underlying investors.
Right. Now, you, Robert, what are the types of companies you're invested in and why?
So our approach is to identify where technological innovation can help solve the big challenges and problems facing the world, because that's where we see the biggest opportunity for returns for our investors. So similar sectors to other VCT managers, B2B software, health tech, deep tech. Fundamentally, we're trying to find the visionary, the best founders to back in those spaces to create category-leading, globally successful businesses.
Right. And so quite a lot of common ground there in terms of the types of companies you're investing in. I'm wondering, what is current investor appetite for VCTs like? How is fundraising going? Are you seeing lots of private investors and advisors investing in VCTs? And I'll start with James on that one.
Yeah, so we're continuing to see good demand for VCT investments from individuals. It continues to be a great way for individuals to gain access to kind of an established portfolio of high growth businesses. And from our side, we launched our fundraising in early January with the aim of kind of raising initially at 30 million with a kind of 20 million overallotment facility possible. Fundraising is going well. We're going to expect to close in or around kind of tax year end.
Right, so seeing quite a lot of demand. Robert, what sort of demand are you seeing?
So I think the VCT sector is up nearly 30% year on year. I think it's getting close to 390 million as at the end of January. Our fundraising, we're over 40 million so far in this tax year, which I think is about 40% up on the same point last year. So demand is good.
Peter, I want to come to you with the same question, but I'm going to say, obviously this is private investor money. Some of them, maybe their advisors are, recommending they invest in VCTs, but this is private investor money. So I'm wondering, what sort of types of private investors do you see, and what sort of demand are you seeing?
So we're seeing good demand this year. It's not going to be a record year for VCT fundraising, but it's a strong, stellar year. In terms of investors, they a number have been with us since the start, as well as a number of new investors who are high net worth individuals who, as you say, are being advised or making the decision themselves to allocate some part of their investment strategy to VCTs and get the benefits that VCTs offer and the access to the high growth and quoted companies that we all invest in.
Great. Okay. Well, it's good to see the breadth of investors. In terms of, obviously, we know about the investment advantages of VCTs, but it's interesting to look about the wider economic and social benefits that they provide to the UK. Robert, can you tell me about those?
Yeah, so we very much look at the impact to our investors as a impact to our investments as a key part of our investment strategy. And I guess you look at it through the various lenses in terms of economic, social governance. In terms of economics, the VCT space, I think, has now is now employing something like 106,000 people, typically highly skilled in high growth areas, which is really really exciting. And I think it's geographically spread across the UK, with something like 56% invested outside of London. So I think the economic impact of supporting visionary founders growing amazing businesses is very clear. In terms of the social impact, the companies that we're backing, because they're trying to solve the key challenges facing the world to capture the best returns, they naturally align with social benefits and government priorities. So if you're investing in areas like healthcare, the energy transition, and more recently defence, you are naturally providing a social benefit. In terms of governance contribution to areas like diversity, for example, I mean, we've set up an accelerator program called Aradia, which is aimed at supporting female founders, and that's been very successful. And we've been really encouraged by the uptake and the increasing diversity of funding within the VCT ecosystem.
Well, I'm all for that. Obviously, more female funders that I'm very supportive of. But isn't it great that, there's economic benefits, over 106,000 jobs in these businesses funded by VCTs? That is incredible. James, could you talk about some of the economic and social wider benefits that you see in your companies in managing your VCTs?
Yeah, sure. So just for a bit of perspective, so a lot of the businesses which we and other people, other VCT managers are investing into are businesses which have kind of found early commercial traction. So they found early customers, and then they look and take on growth capital to kind of scale up and kind of expand further. That typically means, given the kind of sectors that we're investing into, a huge investment in people. And like a lot of the business we're looking to invest into are looking to double or triple headcount over the 2 or 3 years post-investment. Obviously creates a number of jobs, but not only kind of high number of jobs, but also kind of typically are high quality jobs, kind of high skilled and kind of high earning jobs. And that kind of has a whole bunch of ancillary benefits around kind of increasing tax receipts. We're also investing in kind of areas where the UK is genuinely global leading, and that helps create businesses which are successful. And then these businesses kind of typically form, or spin-outs happen from these businesses. So there's kind of ecosystem forms around them. From a kind of social perspective, again, a lot of the businesses we're investing into are trying to address some of the big structural trends, whether that's kind of an aging population, increasing demands on healthcare systems, or even just around kind of improving the kind of sustainability of kind of consumer sector.
Well, you can really get a picture of the widespread impact that these companies are having. Peter, can you talk about your experience about the economic and social benefits that VCTs bring?
In terms of backing high growth companies, the economic benefits are clear, especially in terms of job creation as companies grow. If you look at health tech investments, the patient outcomes that are driven by pretty much all health tech investments is a positive impact. But there are also other ones as well. So if I can think of some of our portfolio examples, we've invested in a company called Social Value Portal, which is developing a platform to measure social impact for companies. So helping to measure the S of ESG. Company called IOPT, which is a sensing technology focused on social housing to eradicate the damp issues that is often making headlines. And also Prometheum, which is a CO2 carbon capture technology. So there are a number of businesses that investors get access to that are having clear impact across the UK and the world.
Excellent. And of course, you are in 11 locations in the UK, so you really are investing right across the UK, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think VCTs ourselves and the other managers are very much investing in all of the UK, not just London and the Southeast, and recognizing that across the UK that there's some great technology and great founders to be partnering with.
Well, it definitely sounds like that. I'd like to thank our managers very much for joining us today. It's been great to hear their views. I'd like to emphasise we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Investment is for the long term, and it's important to have a well-balanced portfolio. If you are in any doubt, you should talk to a financial advisor. Thanks so much for watching.